Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Let's get crafting. This DIY is going to be needing 3 of these moving snakes, some of this ribbon from the Dollar Tree, a long skewer stick, and some greenery of your liking. I also ended up adding in some snowflakes you'll see towards the end because you know how I do things. I like to just keep going and just keep playing with it until I get it to a place where I like it to look. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the head and the tail to be able to come around in a full circle. Now, one of the things you're going to notice is that it's not going to be able to touch all the way perfectly at the ends. So I cut off a piece of a popsicle stick, just enough to be able to create a little spacing in there so that they can really lock in with some hot glue. Once that is all nice and dried and in place, you can see I'm tapping it down in there a little bit. I ended up going ahead and wrapping around it once with some of the ribbon, and then I'm going to bring it up to create a really pretty loop at the top. Now, I'm sure you're all thinking, Heidi, you're burning your fingers. Friends, I really do have the toughest fingers. I used to work at a restaurant when I was a teenager, and I used to carry hot plates all the time, so my fingers can actually handle the heat of the hot glue. It's anytime I ever have it land on my hand or my knuckle, oh, that's when it really hurts. That's just like a funny side note. So here you can see that I went ahead and wrapped that ribbon around, added on some greenery, and I made them different lengths because I wanted it to have like this really pretty hanging wreath effect. And now I'm going to go in with some of these gold glittery berries. I'm going very neutral on this DIY because I know everyone doesn't all do red and green for Christmas. So I'm doing a real neutral palette for this one. But you could paint these green if you wanted to and bring in some red. So once I had the length of those that I wanted, I cut down my skewer stick, and then I am now going to just keep playing with it to get it to how I like. You know, we could stop there or we can go a little further, do a little more. I'm now coming in with some snowflakes and some twine, and I'm looping it through one of the holes on the snowflake, and then I'm just going to do a simple loop around my finger with the 2 pieces of twine and then pull a knot onto it. And then I cut off this extra piece, come back in with my hot glue, and then I just kind of lock it all into place. I don't put a lot, it's just very little, enough that it's not seeable to the eye, but enough to keep it in place. And now I'm just going to figure out the different lengths that I want those snowflakes, bring up that twine towards the top, wrap it around, and then cut off any extra that I don't want to be there. And then at the very end, I'm going to just take some twine, wrap it around to create a nice hanging ability with it, so it's ready to be placed in your home for Christmas. Today is the Friend Friday hop, and if this is your first time joining, it's really simple. There's going to be a link down below in my description box, and when you click on it, it's going to take you to the next person, and then that person's going to take you to the next person. All of them will be a surprise as you're clicking along. These are the friends that are joining me, and all of us came together to do this amazing giveaway to one of our viewers. Now, to enter is really simple. Leave a comment as you go. You have until Tuesday night, midnight Eastern Standard Time to enter the giveaway, and we will be announcing the winner on the following Wednesday, which will be December 9th. And we will be leaving that comment of the winner in our community tabs. This DIY is so beautiful and so simple. Now, I thought about doing 3 of these, but funny enough, my daughter was begging me for one of the bells, so I'm going to just do one. But you could cluster these together and do a really beautiful DIY with them. So we're going to just do one for today, and I'm just going to show you the possibility with these bells. So I'm going to take some of this nautical rope. I finally got my hands on some. This was so popular over the summer. And when I finally found it, I bought a whole bunch of it so that I could have it for a long time, because who knows when I would find it again. So it's really simple. You're going to just keep hot gluing and coiling it around and around. I ended up using about 2 ropes on this, and once you get all the way down and around and through, I went ahead and took a bell from the Dollar Tree, added some twine, brought it up to the top, and then hot glued it into place. Now I will tell you that when you're doing these projects, make sure that you're sticking the rope as close as you can to each other. That's going to make it look more high end without seeing the red popping through. Then I repeated the same thing with one of the brown ropes from the Dollar Tree. I really liked the two different rope tones, and I just wrapped it really tightly, and you saw earlier that I was unweaving the 3 different ropes that they have on the single rope. There are 3 when you untwist it. Then once the bell was on and the handle was covered, you can still see a little bit of that red, and I wanted to make sure I cleaned it up. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of this frosted fern that I love that they came out with this season at the Dollar Tree for the winter time. Hot glue it down into place, and then I'm going to come back in with some boxwood. I really do love adding boxwood to a lot of my projects because I think it just makes it look so pretty. And I buy a really long garland strand from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm simply going to just add on a twine bow, and it's ready to be displayed. If you are new coming to my channel, welcome. My name is Heidi Sombel, and I am a 3rd generation crafter. Here on my channel, you're going to see me posting throughout the week 2 times each week, and I love crafting so much. Now, if you didn't know, I'm also over on Instagram. Come on by and say hi to me. I post over there daily where I'm showing things in my house that I'm up to, craft sneak peeks, and just overall my family life with my kids and my husband and my cat and my dog. So come on by and say hi to me there, and please do give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. This season I found the most beautiful farmhouse star sign, and I wanted it because I put it at the top of my Christmas tree. Now I've been showing it over on my Instagram account, and so many people have been asking me where I got it from, and it just made me think, you know what? I'm going to show you all how to make one yourself. I paid about $20 for mine, which was a lot because I'd been looking for one that I loved for a long time, but I'm going to show you how you can make it for about $1.50, which is just wild compared to what I paid for mine. So here you can see I'm taking one of these stars from the Dollar Tree, and I'm taking some of these tongue depressor sticks, and I'm cutting them down the length of the star point. And then I'm coming back in and strengthening it with some of the popsicle sticks, and I'm just cutting it down to size to where everything is butting up next to each other. Now, a tip that I learned in the corner, I did start cutting it at a very, very slight angle, just that it nestled in there really nicely. Just keep playing with it until you get it to the size and the fitting that you need. And then I put a very thin bead of hot glue on it so it sticks to the star. And then you can see, like I said a second ago, I'm coming back in with those popsicle sticks, and I'm just creating that extra support for the sides so that it doesn't have any issues. Then I'm going to come back in with a grayish brown paint color, and I'm just going to go all along the edges, and any paint that I have, I'm trying to tap it down into any of those cracks and crevices between the sticks. You want to make it look as seamless as possible. Then once I got all that done, I came around the back side and again filled in any cracks I saw with my paint and gave it a nice paint. On the inside, I came in with some white paint. I went along the edges as cleanly as I could. Now you could really go all the details and just get as clean of a line as you want, but I decided to just come back in with a really pretty rope, and I just went along the edges. I actually ended up liking this quite a bit because it made it look even more farmhouse, which was really pretty. So once I went all along the edges and I added in a lot of that hot glue to secure it, but in a neat way. I don't like to be too much hot glue. I like just the right amount to hold it in place and also still do the trick and making it look beautiful. And then I came in with a pen and I'm making my shiplap lines just like on my inspiration at home, and it's ready to put at the top of your tree. If you haven't heard, for this Christmas season, I have started a new tradition. I'm going to go ahead and link the video with all the details at the end of this video and down below in my description box so you can check it out. But I am inviting everyone to send me a Christmas card. I have 500 Christmas cards that I am going to be sending out to you, my viewers, and I am going to be awarding 5 deserving people with a $100 gift card. Write me a Christmas card. Tell me how your year has been going so that I can give back to you, my viewers. I'm so grateful for all of you. For more details, again, watch that video that's linked down below and at the end of my description box. For this DIY, we are going to be taking one of these buckets that they have around the springtime. I'm sure you have these around if you've been shopping at the Dollar Tree for a while, just holding on to it. We're going to take the handle off, and then we are going to slip some beads on. Now the wire on this particular bucket is pretty strong, so just be prepared to try to twist that open to get that open enough to be able to put your beads on. I'm going to open up these beads from the Dollar Tree, and they happen to be the perfect size to be able to slip onto this handle for the bucket. So go ahead and just decide what pattern you want to do, and you're just going to start slipping them on. I went back and forth with different sizes because I really like the idea of some being larger, some being smaller, and I just kept playing with it until I got the look that I wanted. Don't be afraid to do some little ones next to each other, some big ones. It's really pretty when you do mix up the different sizes of the beads. So once you have all of these beads all on there, we're definitely not going to leave them this color because this is pretty bright, and you probably don't want this for your Christmas decor unless you're going for a really colorful candy Christmas. You're then going to go ahead and put that wire back in. Take your pliers, twist it back into place, and then you could go ahead and paint it, but I really do feel that spray painting it is always best whenever you have these kind of projects. It really does lock everything in really well. I always like to come in with just a simple white spray paint, and once I have one nice coat on and everything is nice and dried to the metal and the wood, I'm now going to come back in with a pretty taupey color. This is a very neutral, pretty Christmas decor. You're going to see here in the end, it's going to all start to come together. So I'm coming in with this pretty taupey color, painting over these beads to make them look more wood. And the trick to make them look wood is you want to have a lot of different tints of the brown. You don't want to just have just one straight brown color, because then it's not going to really look like wood. The more grains and veining that you put in it, the more it will start to look like wood. So while it's wet, I'm coming back in with a lighter brown and a darker brown, and I just keep playing with it, and I'm going to add an even darker brown, and again and again. And as I'm going further along, I'm adding less and less and just tapping it and adding in all of that detail until I get it to look like the wood that I'm desiring. Once it was all dry, I went ahead and pulled that handle down. I put in a piece of foam, and now I'm going to take this beautiful glitter gold and copper fern that they have at the Dollar Tree this season, and I'm going to just fill that in really beautiful. I think this would be so lovely on a bookshelf, stacked on top of some books. It could be so pretty. And then any other spots that I had at the bottom, I just filled it in with some of this grassy moss, and it was ready to be displayed. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below to let me know what you think of these DIYs today, which one was your favorite and which one you think you'll try. And don't forget to go and check out the Friend Friday Hop. That link is right down below. Thanks for stopping by and visiting with me today. And until the next episode, bye friends.